In a few seconds we should see the countdown on the so it's going live in 13 seconds. It started. Okay, so we should see countdown now, right? Oh, you see me? Oh, damn it, I came off. Oh man, I screwed up again.
What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? How are you guys tonight? Is everybody doing good? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just hanging out. I actually got done painting a bait earlier, and I've just been hanging out today. My name is Chris, and I had a company named Yank UR Crank, and that's why my deal is Yank UR Crank. Sorry.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot to turn the microphone on. First time for everything, right? All right, guys, how are you? How you doing? Well, we're gonna go through this. I mean, I was just talking to myself, and Chris heard me, but you guys didn't hear me at all. So, all right, can you guys hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. All right. Anyhow, we'll start from the beginning. So, the first thing is first. I'll ask the question. Simple questions first. First is first, and this one, many people probably already know Yank UR Crank name or other information where he lives, but this is going to be kind of written in stone. It's going to be on my channel forever, recorded and stored. So if somebody will go and will replay everything, so they will know everything. So let's just start again. You probably already answered and everybody heard it already, but just for the sake of the show. So
Yeah.
this is Chris, right? And
Yes. Yeah, so my name's Chris, and I owned a company called Yank UR Crank, and it basically I painted custom crankbaits for a lot of tournament anglers and just in general. We went to shows and a lot of different stuff. So that's where the Yank UR Crank came from.
all right, so cool. And where do you live?
I actually live in Oklahoma. I spent last year in Kansas. I was working in Kansas, and so I lived up there for 1 year, and I came back to Oklahoma this year, and I'm back in Oklahoma. I've lived here all my life.
All right. Uh, I'm just. I have this still going flickering, so I'm trying to kind of fix that. Anyhow, so I mean, from what I know, you started your channel about 3 years ago. Is that correct?
Yeah. So basically, about 3 years ago, I actually started this YouTube channel, and when I first started, it was just kind of a thing to do, and I didn't take it very seriously. And my first video got quite a few likes, and then I dropped off and didn't post for a while, and then I came back again, tried it again, and didn't post for a little while, and so now I'm doing it all the time, and I'm trying to keep as much consistency and content. I really, in all actuality, it's only been about a year and a half that I've been like really focusing on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Um, so yeah, I guess I looked at your channel and you pretty much was, uh, you started like pretty much everybody. You did some video fishing, and then some kayak work. One of the first of your videos, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and the battery compartment installation, but you didn't stop there. I mean, once you install that battery,
Hey guys, I just wanted to post a video of the lights. I now have them on the kayak. They work great.
Like LED lights
They work in unison like they're supposed to finally.
And all.
I mean, I just wanted to show you guys. If you have any questions for me, just comment. We'll be posting more videos soon, and always keep cranking. Hey guys, I just wanted to post a video of the lights. I now have them on the kayak. They work great. They work in unison like they're supposed to finally. I just wanted to show you guys. If you have any questions for me, just comment. We'll be posting more videos soon, and always I just wanted to show you guys. If you have any questions for me, just comment. We'll be posting more videos soon, and always keep cranking. Hey guys, I just wanted to post a video of the lights. I now have them on the kayak. They work great. They work in unison like they're supposed to finally. I just wanted to show you guys. If you have any questions for me, just comment. We'll be posting more videos soon.
And so I
installed everything, all those lights blinking and stuff. But you know what? I was watching some other of your videos, and I have a piece of advice. When you go fishing on the shore and you leave your kayak on the surf, you just take some piece of rope and tie it to something on the shore, because I mean you never know what's gonna happen.
Oh gosh,
you know.
Oh gosh. Woo. Woo. Whoa, that was a rough one. Sorry guys for the bad language.
All right, so I have something there for our
that
guys
was not
to see.
good.
So.
As you see that rock in the water there, guys, that is actually like right past that rock is like a 30-foot drop off. It's deep, deep water. And I barely got to it without having to swim. And I really didn't want to go swimming in that.
Yeah, that was funny. So, but then, you know, all those videos were in the beginning, but after that, so I can see more of your videos kind of turn into what you do now, the custom crankbaits, you know, the work you do. So you kind of found your niche there, and I think once you start doing that, it's pretty much kind of start taking off more for you. Is that correct?
It definitely has. It definitely has. Like, the thing was I'd always painted these really cool custom baits, but they were always for tournament anglers. And of course, you're never going to see those baits. They keep them in boxes hidden away. Even if they win the tournament, you'll never see that bait because it's a secret bait for those guys. And I'm not giving away any of their secrets, but I thought, you know, why not try and paint stuff on that level and just show other people, kind of give other people tips and tricks and things of that nature. Some of these guys that are starting out doing this, now some of them that have been doing it for a while may already know this stuff, but it's just something to show, and people that have never seen it before too. That was the other thing, was I wanted to give some kind of like insight into what goes into custom painting, because there's a lot of work involved in it a lot of times. And
yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's just look at that beautiful work that Chris done on his bait. So I mean, they're just you know, work of art. I mean, you can take them and bag them and box them and maybe put into display cases and put it on a shelf. I mean, those things are just beautiful. So, but with those, you know, what are I mean, you paint and there's some kind of inspiration because we've seen some things like you created the zombie, and I mean, you have to come up with that. I mean, it's just not just like a regular pattern on a bait. I mean, or the reindeer, for the Christmas.
The zombie came from an Instagram site that actually, and I wasn't replicating his work. I was kind of paying tribute to it because I like it so much, and it's JC Wiggly. I think that's right. I hope I'm not butchering the name, but he follows me on Instagram. I follow him back, and he makes handcrafted baits. Like he carves them out and everything, and then he puts these really sick, like weird zombie patterns on them. And that's kind of where that stemmed from. And then a lot of the other baits I just started coming up with. I was like, well, if I can do a zombie, what else can I do? And I've got some pretty interesting ones to come for sure.
All right, that's cool. So, do you have any interest in fishing story, kind of, bloopers that you may be embarrassed of?
You know what? I do. I've got. Hey, G Money, how's it? Yeah, that bait is. Yeah, that looks familiar. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to everyone. I'm trying to talk and look too. But yeah, so I've got some bloopers. A lot of my bloopers, though, I haven't put out yet. I think I was saving. I had a bunch of footage saved up for, like, I think it was the 2018. I was going to do a whole bloopers deal at the end of the year, and I lost a bunch of that footage. But I do have some stuff that, like, I've missed some fish, and I'm just trying to think offhand, like, anything in particular that would be. I can't think of anything that's not on the videos right now that like a particular video that you can go to or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't see the videos, of those bloopers, but I guess everybody have them. I mean, I had one that I posted, probably you saw on Instagram when I just got the bait caster and I was fishing from the bank. The one that says, you have to throw the lure in. When I was casting, casting the rod, and it's actually, I mean, it was so hot and my palms were so sweaty. This thing just jumped out of my hands and it was gone in a second. Well, of course, I had to go in, and get it. And I was pretty much like up to the knee in mud trying to get it.
I had a moment, and it's not caught on film. I've had a couple that haven't been caught on film, but one in particular was when I first got my kayak. It's wide enough you can stand up in it, and I thought I was pretty cool. I was really comfortable, and I'm standing up in the kayak, and everything's going good, and I'm paddling, standing up, and I think it's just this is the best thing ever. And I'm so good at it that I don't have to pay attention to what I'm doing, and I literally go into the water. That was an interesting day. And then I've had another where I forget that the poles are behind me in the kayak, and I go to cast. My crankbait gets hung up on a rod, and I have the biggest bird nest ever.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes it happens. It happened to me also. I'm sorry. I got to a new lake and I was kind of uncomfortable, just being there, kind of new place and everything. I don't know where everything is, and then first cast, my favorite lipless crankbait gets hung up on the bottom, so it's gone. The next thing, in a couple next casts, I threw it and I hang up on the tree. So and I got huge bird nest. I tried to unravel that, but after a few minutes, said, you know what, this one is done. This is going home. So and I had to, and I couldn't clean it up. I couldn't unravel that thing. I just cut the line and I respooled the whole thing. So
I have had I've had a lot like that. So almost every one of my videos, I think I bird's nest in every single video. Like if you watch, it's pretty much every video. And what it is I forget to set my
your brakes.
my reel up for the different baits.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do it. I'm trying to do that pretty much every time I get the new bait because the weight is different. So.
By the way, Poor Man's Reality, thank you so much. I saw your comment. I just wanted to acknowledge it and say thank you. And everyone else that's commented about the baits, really thank you.
All right, it looks like guys are mingling in the chat. Everything, goes its own way. But anybody in the audience in the chat maybe have question for Chris? Because I was kind of trying to monitor this, but I couldn't see any questions though. Well, if you'll get the questions, guys, just type our names so we can see that you actually talking to us, and we'll take the questions. So yeah, I mean this thing take off for you pretty good, especially Yank UR Crank around the world. That become famous, and yeah, Jimani Strong Outdoors and Jack Fishing and you made a pretty cool collaboration there, so it kind of takes off.
It did, and that's really cool. Like the Around the World Challenge, I think that's one of the most exciting things. Like, it's just really cool because my baits have been a lot of places, but they've never been overseas. And that's what I'm most interested about, to see how the fish react to them over there, if they react at all, or if they get smashed, if they get killed, that sort of thing. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be awesome, and I keep those guys. I keep talking to them. I've talked to them several times, and they're excited about it too. I think it's going to be a really neat thing.
Yeah, in Australia, I mean, looks like I text KRJ, right? Yeah, and yeah, looks like he didn't have a luck with those baits. I mean, even last video that he posted, it was about his fishing, top water and stuff.
Yeah, have enough to pay that then too.
But looks like he doesn't have luck with it, and my camera going nuts.
Yeah, so I talked to him as well, and what it is right now is it's just like I equate it to the same thing here in like our July. It is so hot, it's like blistering hot. Like sometimes we have heats of like 115, 120, and the heat index is like, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Plus humidity on top of that, and those fish, even with plastics, I've heard people have problems with the live bait even in those type of temperatures, and that heat keeps them, keeps those fish down, and I think that's what's been going on with him. He's looking for a time to find that he can get out, but I don't know that that's what it is. I just, from what I understand, just talking to him, I think that's kind of what's been going on. Is it's just so hot there. He's trying to find a good time to go out and fish them.
Yeah, I guess that is it. I mean, yeah, I mean, even in the hot weather, even here, sometimes you have trouble because you're not always gonna catch on hard bait when it's hot. So hopefully, he will get some, and I was sure that he will get that Murray cod on on those baits, especially on the crankbaits. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I think he will. I definitely think he will, Yuri. I think it's just the fish have shut off, kind of. I mean, like even in his videos, like the last couple videos I saw, even when he was throwing the topwater stuff, he hasn't, like, if you look at his prior videos, he would catch a ton of fish, like Murray.
I mean, we have too cold, and he have too hot.
Yeah.
So we are on the opposite spectrum of the extreme. So yeah. So do you have any specific plans for 2019? I mean, do you have anything in mind? Something new?
So I wanted to bring these up so you guys could see them. And I know on my live I put them up the other day, but that way everybody can see them. This right here is the bull shad kind of version. It's not a bull shad, but it's basically just a shad that I created. I carved it out of wood. And then I've got the bluegill version as well right here, or the little perch or bluegill, whatever you want to call it. I carved both of those out. Those are prototypes. And my goal this year is to pour the silicone molds and actually start making them out of resin and selling those.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was actually curious. I saw you made a few wooden ones. I mean, how do you carve them? I mean, I was just looking at, like, the scale pattern and all that stuff, and I was kind of wondering. I mean, are you cutting them by hand, kind of thing?
Yeah, that's all done with a X-Acto knife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I carved all of. Now the baits themselves were done with. I would take a bandsaw and cut them out, or a jigsaw and cut the pattern out. And then after I cut the pattern out, then I go on with a belt sander and I sand them down to the width and the shape that I want them. And then I cut them. I put a center line. Then I cut those baits in the sections that I think will work. Then after I do that, then I go back and I start drawing out with a pencil. I basically draw out the gill plates, the eyes, everything on them, and the scales, and I draw that all in, and then I go back with an X-Acto knife and actually carve it out.
So that is, I mean, it's a lot of work even to do one bait like that. It's all, I mean, handcrafted and everything. And that's what I was wondering. I mean, like, let's say if somebody would come today to you and say, hey, I like those baits that you have there. Can I have like 10 of each of them? So what are you going to say? And how much you going to be selling for?
So if they wanted 10 wooden baits like this, just to be real honest with you, I'd probably say no way. Just because of the amount of time and hours I have in this bait, I don't think I could ever get the amount of money it'd be worth, However, that's why I'm doing the resin baits, because I can pour a bunch of those, and I'm going to try and sell them. I don't know what the price point's going to be quite yet, because it's all going to be dependent on the hardware and the resin and what it costs me to make versus what I'm going to try and make like a reasonable price point, though, somewhere between that 50 to 80 mark, because these aren't like, they're not small baits. This one right here is like almost 8 inches. And I mean, if you see my hand, it's a good size bait.
Yeah, that's a size. Yeah.
And if you look at most swim baits out there on the market that are that size, I mean, I think the bull shad's $80 for it. So I'm trying to make it somewhat reasonable, at the same time being able to do it and be profitable with it. That's a big thing. But I don't know. I don't know for sure.
Yeah. And I see RKJ.
What's going on, RKJ?
Fishing is in the house. So, I don't know. Does he have any updates for us? How the Yank UR Crank around the world doing?
Yeah, RJK, have you caught some fish on the baits? Poor man reality, Yank UR Crank. I need a top secret bass slayer so I can outfish Fishy and Cheap Money. Well, hit me up on Instagram. I may have something for you. Precision angling. What do you use as a top coat for your lures?
So it looks like we're being raided.
I see that. That's awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Precision angling. I've used a couple different things. I've used a couple things. I've used 2-part epoxy. I've used a bunch of different stuff. Now I pretty much, like right now at this moment, I'm using 2-part epoxy just because it's easy to deal with. But that's primarily my top coat right now. There's some other stuff that's a jig coat that I'm going to switch over to later on this year. What's up, Darren Northern Life? Sorry, Fishy. I was just reading comments and questions.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if we have any questions from the audience that you can answer. I mean, it's going fast. I cannot even keep up with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Setting up this whole thing and, you know, working the OBS and watch all the comments and everything.
Just give him one of those square bills they do. G Money, give him one of those square bills that doesn't run right.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for.
Thank you guys so much, Darren. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for
awesome.
bringing your guys, your people here. I mean, we really appreciate it. This is my first show, you know, with the guests. So it's pretty much a trial run at this point. So let's see how it's gonna go and what we can make out of it.
Yeah, I like it so far. Fishy, I think you're doing a great job, man. Yuri, this is awesome.
Well, yeah, we need to find out something, you know. Oh, with 8:30, we halfway through, but.
Now I do have. I was gonna say I do have some baits which I won't show you. I won't show anybody because it's prototypes that are actual crankbait prototypes.
Okay.
And those are going to be my goal for this year. Another goal that I have is getting those 3D printed and seeing how those 3D printed prototypes work out. And then I'm going to try, once that's all said and done, then I'll start looking for maybe some investors and going over to China to actually get my own line of crankbaits made.
Okay, so those you'll be able to sell in volumes, huh?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, those are going to be the whole, like, if they work out like the wood ones have for me, if I can get the plastic to work the same and operate the same, it's going to be a game changer. It really will. The design that I came up with, I think I lucked into it, to be honest with you. It was something that I saw in my head, and I put it down, pencil and paper, and then I carved it out of wood. And they are normal size, like they're about the same size as like 2.5 crankbaits, but they are definitely, the fish like them.
Yeah, and in your line of crankbaits, I mean, are you making them kind of average depth diving, or are you gonna be having different types, the shallow ones and the deeper ones?
They'll be different depths. I'll have a shallow runner, like a square bill. Then I'll have like a mid diver and a deep diver. I probably won't have any topwater yet, just because I haven't really come up with a good topwater design. But I am planning on having. I've been looking at topwater and trying to figure out a new topwater design, but for right now, it's probably just going to be like your shallow runner, your mid diver, and then your deep diver.
Yeah, the thing is, I asked because here in Delaware, I mean, our ponds are really shallow. So, and pretty much what I, in the last video, fishing video, Yank UR Crank around the world when I was fishing the pickerel with the Jim and Garrett.
Yeah.
I got that. It's man's baby.
Yeah, the baby minus.
One minus.
Yeah.
So those are really, really shallow. I mean, I actually fish with that, in the pond that I usually go to, because that one is pretty much overrun with the hydrilla, and even in the winter you only have a couple of feet, but in the summer it's completely overgrown, so you cannot throw anything that dives deeper than 1 foot.
Yeah.
And even with that one, when I went to with the Jim and Garrett and fishing there, it wasn't diving deep, even though there was like about 5 feet probably in the part that I was catching them. And yeah, that thing performed flawlessly. I mean, but I also have King Strike 1.5.
Yes.
Square bill. That one dives a bit deeper. That one dives like, I believe, from 3 to 5 feet. And I tried that one in that pond, and I was always picking up some garbage from the bottom.
Yeah, so the 1.5 versions, I would say, of like a wake bait, more or less, like a surface skimmer. So it runs right underneath the surface. And those are great baits, don't get me wrong. And if I can come up with some way to do the bait that way, I don't know. The design that I have, I don't know if it would work. I need to test that. I need to test that and see.
Yeah, I mean, they do have, I mean, I actually purchased, but I haven't fished it yet. Strike King also have 1.5, but the shallow one. And I kind of look at it because I have both of them. So I kind of look at them, and what they did, they changed the angle of the bill and made them a little bit shorter, and changed the angle.
Yeah.
So, and that's all you need, kind of, completely change the behavior.
Well, and two, another thing with the baby -1, the body, the width on the body, the round, the way it's shaped,
right,
has a lot to do with it, because it keeps it from like, so if you took a 1.5 and changed the bill, the bill angle so that when it come up higher in the water, what you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of flopping around, because the body design is not designed to hold that pressure on each side, where the baby minus does.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess that work cut out for you to come up with the body and the depth and the bill length and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error too, because I am not an engineer of any sorts, and I'm not really that great at math either. So I may succeed a little bit better, like in that process. I have the creative side down, but as far as engineering and being able to know exactly what that bait's should do and shouldn't do, I can't really tell you that. I just have to go out and test it, watch a video of it, slow it down in slow motion, and then go back to the drawing board and say, okay, that didn't work. I'm going to have to go. I know it does this now. So it's my own form of engineering.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to go through the trial and error anyway. I mean, anything you do, you have to test, and you have to improve, and you have to change, and
Right, baby.
so I mean that's a given. You mentioned what kind of resin that is that you plan to use.
So that two-part epoxy, a lot of people use a bunch of different stuff from, like, they'll use, I personally like DEFCON 2-ton epoxy, like for quick stuff, because it basically all it is it's a two-part epoxy you mix up. It's a glue, it's clear, and then you just brush it on and heat it up, and it coats the entire bait, and it's rigid enough to hold the outside coating, but it's soft enough to still, if you get hit, it doesn't chip. Because if you get too rigid of a coating on a crankbait, it will chip.
Right.
And so I've been looking for there's some other stuff out there that's better. Like for instance, like I know like the factory baits, they come with like ink coatings and different stuff like that, where it's not going to be where you don't have. But I've still seen factory baits chip. I mean, I've still seen the coatings on them chip. I don't think there is such a thing out there that's chip proof, but I've been looking for something that's a little bit easier just to dip and go. And I think I found some stuff. It's actually a jig coating, and several people that I know that have used it have had really good results with it. So I think I may switch over to that. It may take away from like the extremely glossy look of the baits, but I think that's okay too.
So, but in that case, if you'll do that, it's gonna be just the pretty much plastic. But I mean, what about the paint? I mean, how are you gonna be doing that? I mean, it's gonna be kind of embedded into the plastic, or how? I mean, I'm not the artist, so I don't know how this process works. That's why I'm asking.
No, so basically what I do is like the way it works right now is what I do is I paint the bait up. I paint it with an airbrush, and I paint all of it onto the bait. And then once the bait's painted, then I'll go ahead and put the final top coat on, which is the epoxy or whatever else, like urethane. You can use moisture cured urethane. You can use a lot of different things, but basically you're just going to put a top coat. It's almost like a clear coat on a car, and you're just putting that on there. What that does is that seals everything and bonds it in so that you don't get damaged. You'll get damage to the outside of the clear coat, but you're not going to get damage to the actual paint or the bait, unless the other thing is if you hit like something like really sharp objects, rocks, docks, metal things, and you hit them just a certain way, it still will mess up a bait. I mean, I've knocked bills off of baits. I've hit, and these are factory baits. These, I've done a lot of damage to some baits, but I've done it to my own just to test. When I first started out, that was the whole goal. I wanted something that was going to hold up. And so when I was testing blanks to see if they were good or not, I literally would take them out, short of smashing them with a hammer. I would take them out and literally throw them on the concrete. I would do all sorts just to see if I was going to damage them, because if I could damage the blanks that easy, then I didn't want to fish them.
All right.
That was one of my first tests.
But with the plastic, I mean, my question was for the plastic. Once you go to the resin, once you go to the resin and you make mold and everything, how that paint, will be there? I mean, it's going to be part of that resin, or it's going to be paint on top?
It'll still be painted on top of the resin. It'll still be painted.
And then you'll use the clear coat again, to make it glossy, right? As normal.
Yeah. So what'll happen is I'll still paint like the resin. I'll come up with the resin, and then I'll paint over the resin. I'll paint I'll still be painting the baits, and then I'm going to put some kind of clear over that resin to make it hold that paint on there.
All right.
I think that'll be. I think in all honesty, once it's done. The other cool thing about those big baits is I'm going to be able to do a lot sicker paint jobs on those, because like the way it stands now is that those little bitty tiny baits, it's really hard to get a lot of real natural, realistic detail on something that small, But with those big baits, I'll actually be able to get some really cool detail on them.
Yeah, I saw your video when you made that one of your first wooden ones. And you try them, in a pool. I mean, I've seen those baits, but I didn't realize they have so much wobble and so much movement. And it looked like it's a real movement of a fish.
Yeah. That was kind of the trick. That was the goal. Like when I originally came up with it, that was kind of the deal. I wanted it to, because I've seen some out there that you can throw that are jointed, but they don't really have that movement. They have this weird broken movement in the water. I didn't want that. I wanted mine to look like a real fish going through the water. And so that was kind of the goal when I created those.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't realize, you know, you can get that movement. I mean, I've seen those 3 parts, 2 parts and 3 parts baits like that, you know. But I never thought it's going to be moving like more like real live fish.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
They're definitely neat. I will say this about them is that if you're going to go out and throw one of these, plan on having some like muscle patches or something like what's it called, the icy hot when you get home.
Yeah.
Because it's like a brick. It's literally like throwing a brick. I mean, they're like, this one weighs 3 ounces. You know, it literally is like throwing a brick out there, and you may not get but 1 bite, maybe 2 bites all day long, but the bite you get will be worth it.
Oh yeah, I mean, with this kind of bait, you probably be looking at the big fish. I mean, even to swallow that one. I mean, this is like, it is kind of like a bluegill pattern because it's wide. So I mean, smaller fish not gonna be even looking to bite that thing. I mean, only the big one that can actually swallow that. Will be probably going after it. So yeah, but with all your cool crankbaits and other baits, you know, if you need a beta tester, you know where to send them. To me. And I'll test it for you, and I'll tell you how great they work.
Well,
or not.
When I get those 3D printed baits up, that's kind of my goal. I'm just going to select. I'm going to select a few people that I'm going to send them out to, and I'm going to paint them up and send them out, and basically send out a sheet with them, and tell me, you know, what do you think about this, and this, the way it runs, the you know, and just kind of get some kind of, you know, some kind of like report back, basically saying, you know, it needs to do this, or it did this, or it did something weird, or it was a great bait, you know, all around. I mean, so I'm going to do some of that eventually. It's going to be a little while though. I don't want people to think like it's going to happen like overnight, because this is a very, very long, tedious process.
Well, yeah, I mean, from scratch build everything that works. Yeah, I mean, if you look at those bait companies, I mean, they work on their baits forever. You know, years and years, and perfecting them and making them better. You know, and sometimes when they hit that, you know, good bait that actually brings fish, I mean, that's when money start pouring. But I mean, they striving for years to get that one. Yeah, it's understandable. So right now you pretty much your business, and that's what you do for a living. It's your business. But I mean, those are not just the crankbait, right? So what do you actually do for a living?
So I actually, for the last 15 years, I've worked in the film industry. So I was a production designer. I've been set decorator. I've been pretty much anything in the art department. That was what I did. I worked in the movie industry. I've worked on everything from like little indie projects all the way up to big blockbuster films. And
so you pretty much you said you've been in the art department?
Yes.
So just decoration and props and all that?
Yeah, prop master, prop assistant, art director, production designer, set dresser, swing gang. I mean, I've pretty much done it all from the beginning.
Okay, but now you do your own business, and you know, what besides this baits and stuff?
Well, I still go back and I'll do projects every once in a while, because they only last like a little while. Like I'll do commercials, or I'll do things of that nature, just to keep money coming in.
You do on a consultant basis kind of thing.
Yeah.
Short projects. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, if you'll have your business expand a bit, you know, and you'll get to to production of, more massive production, so you can actually sell stuff. Yeah, I hope you're gonna get that route, and your baits will succeed, and you actually will start making money on them. That would be cool.
Yeah, I really hope I hope that that I'm able to do this. That's the ultimate goal, is one day having a company that that I'm able to actually do the baits, because I love fishing. That's why I started the whole YouTube, and plus it's an outlet. It's a great outlet, and it's not just about, like, I didn't start the YouTube to promote the business. I started the YouTube just to have an outlet to go out, fish, and just talk with people and stuff. That's really what it's about. And if I could have a company doing the crankbaits, that's just an added bonus.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we're all starting, YouTube channel. Just, I mean, I had a couple of channels, but then I started this one when I started fishing. So I started this one just to kind of record my adventure, and so you can go back and look at the fishing days, because I haven't fished for 20 years when I came here. I mean, my fishing break was 20 years, so I just started fishing last September.
Okay.
Again. But after 20 years, the game has changed. I mean, the reels, rods, crankbaits, I mean, all the baits, I mean, everything has changed. So I'm learning everything. So I mean, if you could say that I'm noob at this right now, because I haven't fished for that long, and I got lost of what's going on in the industry. So right now I learn everything, what baits work, what baits don't work, all this reels and rods and all this stuff. I'm just pretty much starting from the beginning again.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. Like, with me, when I was working in the film industry, I didn't have time to really fish. The only fishing that I did was fly fishing, and so I hadn't bass fished in a while. It had been quite a while before I got back into it. And right before I started my YouTube channel, about a year before, was when I started getting back into bass fishing. And it was a shock, because I was still using a big, like, clunker, like what people use for catfish now for bass fishing, because that's what it was. That's what you used to have. Like, if you had a bait caster, it was a big open spool, like Abu Garcia 5000,
Yeah. But the thing is, I returned to fishing. I was watching YouTube videos in here, and I never caught a bass in my life. 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Before I started, and when I was watching these videos, even here, people in Delaware just going and catching. I mean, I was looking and trying, but I thought, I'll start with going like bank fishing to the ponds and everything, but anywhere I looked, everywhere is a private property. You cannot step anywhere. I mean, if there's a pond or a lake that actually touches the highway, that's the only place. But then again, you cannot leave the car there. You cannot, in some places you don't have a shoulder on those bridges and stuff, and it's like, or dams. I still kind of, I didn't know what to do. And then I saw that, people getting onto those ponds and lakes where they have the boat access ramps. But then again, I look, okay, yeah, I decided, I need a boat, but even to get to those places. But I look at the boats, like John boat is $1,500, and it's like, really? It's like crazy. So
Yeah.
the only thing is, it came to me, like, I think it's in August of last year, and I said, okay, I've been looking at all these boats. I mean, and I'm not looking at the bass boats that like 9 and 10 and 12 and 15 grand. So
Yeah.
I thought, get something, some kind of dinghy or something, so I can go fish in it. But then it came to me in August. I was watching videos, people fishing from kayaks, and I didn't even think about it because it wasn't in my mind, because I never done that before, and it was kind of, I didn't even think. It wasn't in my mind. But then when I saw those videos, I said, maybe I'll try the kayak. But then again, when I first look at the Cabela's. Okay, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000. It's like, ah. And then when I went to Walmart.com and I saw they had that Tamarack 100 for sale, 10-footer, on top, sit on top kayak, and it was, usually it's like 300, but they had all these sales and everything, so I got, their price was $198.95. And then I said, you know what, I don't know if I'm gonna like the kayak or not, but at least, I'll try. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I'll ditch it. It's only $200. It's not like $1,500 or $3,000, kayak.
Yeah.
Plus 10-footer, it's so light. I can take it under my arm and just walk to wherever I want to with it. So.
Yeah, that's a heck of a deal. I know what you're talking about with the everything being closed off. Used to here in Oklahoma, and we've got a lot of land, we've got a lot of shoreline, we've got a ton of ponds, farm ponds and things of that nature that are really good, have a lot of really big fish in them. And when I was a kid, I can guarantee you, Fishy, if I had my YouTube channel as a kid, it would have blown up. Just the amount of big fish that we were catching from ponds. And one of these days I'm going to get into my, I'm going to put the photos up so everybody can see them. But it was nothing to go to these farm ponds and catch these giant fish. And, but the issue became that people started partying at these places on these farmers' land. People started doing different stuff. And we ended up losing our permission to a lot of those places. And now it's become a thing now where people lease land for fishing and hunting. And most land is leased up here. And it's even people from out of state are leasing land for fishing and hunting rights. So it kind of killed the fishing in a lot of places. And that was kind of the basis for one of my last videos that I did, which was how to, kind of isolate when you go to a lake, how to isolate more and have a game plan when you get out there for fishing from the bank. Because a lot of what I do is fish from the bank, especially in the wintertime. And it can be tough. It can be really tough. But the reason that is because of that exact reason that we didn't, it's hard to get access to a lot of farm ponds and things of that nature now. And even the city ponds, most of the city ponds that we have that you can't get access to, they're highly pressured. You can still catch fish out of them, but I'd rather go to a lake, to be honest.
Oh yeah, here too. We have the public ponds in the parks and all. Those are accessible and available, but they're so pressured. It just, you go there and it's like, okay, it's not even 50-50,
Yeah.
But you want to get to some lake somewhere, and like I have one pond in here that it doesn't have any access. And I heard from one of the local fishermen here, he said if you get there, it's a huge bass there because there is no access to that pond at all. There is no road that's coming to it. So you actually have to go through the brush and get inside there,
Yeah. Well, and the places like that are the places you want to fish anyways. Like those are definitely honey holes for sure. Like if you can find a place that not a lot of people know about or don't have a lot of access to, those fish have probably been growing for a long time.
Yeah, I'll try to get there in the spring. So I have a road there. I saw the road, even though it's private, looks like government something. But I'll try to get there and. But then again, I have to walk through the brush, probably, I don't know, maybe 50 yards.
Yeah.
And I would have to carry my kayak there, but otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get there. All right, so looks like we don't have any questions from our audience. North Fork Lures asked me where I'm from. I live in Delaware right now, but originally I'm from Ukraine. So, and I don't know. We don't get any questions from the audience. It looks like they're
I saw a couple back up here. I'm Hooked TV. He said, "Do you have something like a 20XD?" I'm hooked. I actually don't. I don't have anything that large other than these giant swim baits. That's going to be the closest thing that I'm going to have to anything like the 20XD. Um, and then he said we fish 8 to 12-inch swim baits. And yeah, I know out there in the Delta, I mean, you guys fish some giant baits. I've actually painted up. I've been sent a lot of big XD baits and swim baits and things of that nature. You guys fish some ginormous baits out there. It's pretty crazy. I do have some skeet reese magnums, which look like they should hang on the wall and not be fished.
All right, I'm Hook TV asked a lot of questions, but it probably directed them to you, Chris, because I didn't see any of them.
Yeah,
I mean, I just can't keep up with the chat and all, because that's why I asked, put our names, and they chose your name to put in there to ask the question, so that's why I kind of missed it.
Yeah, it's okay. Yuri, I caught those, and we were in the middle of talking. But I did want to say to everyone, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Yuri, too. I really appreciate it. And if I missed any questions, definitely hit me up if you have any questions or anything like that, and I can help you out.
So yeah, that was the first one, and
yeah,
it looks like it is an interesting one. So hopefully, I forgot to mute it, and I went live before even time. And the second when I mute my microphone, then when we went live, I forgot to unmute it. Well, what they said. It's the first time is always messed up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it went. I thought it's gone pretty good so far. So.
Yeah, it's one thing. It's my camera is going nuts, and I guess everybody can see that. I don't know. It's flickering. I still have to find a solution for it. I don't know what's going on. I got this new camera, 922X, and it just OBS doesn't like it. I mean, I did have 720p before, never had this problem. So anyhow, well, so our hour is up, and guys, I wanted to thank you for coming to the live stream and supporting us, and I hope you like this first interview with Chris. We're gonna be doing more of these. I mean, it actually, it's been kind of hard, to get all these questions, kind of, even to stretch everything for 1 hour. I mean, it was actually harder than I thought, but Chris had a lot to say, about his business and his, baits and all the stuff that he does. So hopefully, with the next guest, we would have to come up with something, to get to that out, to show, what he thought about it, so to get some kind of feedback,
Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for coming in tonight. Thank you, and thank you, Yuri. I appreciate you having me on. That's amazing. Thank you for everyone just showing the love and everything. I can't say thank you enough, Yuri.
Yeah, thank you for agreeing to come to the show. I mean, because I contacted a few people, so and I had one decline. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I did have one. So anyhow, well, I guess I guess this opening was a success so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us, and we're gonna wrap up at this point. And the next show will be next Tuesday. I'm gonna post closer to the date, schedule event, and at this point I'm not gonna tell you who that will be. Yeah, go ahead. All right. All right. So there's something that I actually didn't know about it. Go ahead. Tell it. What is it?
So it's Shark Week. We talked about a shark, and I'm building a swim bait shark. So I'm actually gonna carve it out of wood and make it. It's not gonna be real big, but it's gonna be pretty cool. So I think that's gonna be an interesting bait, and hopefully he can catch some good fish on it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm looking forward to see that. Yeah, you're gonna be catching what, bass on the shark? That's cool.
Oh, I think so. I think Jag's gonna be out there catching largemouth, and they're gonna be eating a shark.
Yeah, I'm Hook TV. I don't know who's running live right now, so let me just check just in a second. The question is, who we should raid after this. So
Yeah.
let me see who's online or who's running live now. Let's see.
Let's see here.
So who do we have here?
Live, uncut, angling, part 3. That's Dr. Fishing. There's Dromar family.
Yeah, there are a few now. What, seven or 8?
Yeah,
live streams right now.
KB211, The Haunted, Dr. Fishing, Dromar. Pusa Studios is live as well.
Yeah, Pusa Studios. I mean, we can go to Pusa Studios and maybe we'll get a lock, and you guys maybe will get a lock. So if you wanna raid the Pusa Studios and just mention that you came from Fishy Angler live stream, we'll appreciate that, and I'm probably gonna go and join them as well there. So all right, guys.
I think so. Thank you, Yuri. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for agreeing to come to my show. And Jack Fishing is going live in 15 minutes. So guys, there you go. That's where you're gonna go, guys.
Okay, Jack Fishing's going live.
Jack Fishing's going live.
All right, we'll go over there.
Cool. Fishy Angler raid Jack Fishing channel. Jack Fishing live.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming in, and I hope you like it. And I'll see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
All right, sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. See you next week. Bye.